This is the world news on your premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM Pawtucket. I am Amaka Felix. Hello. In the headlines, Nigerian Correctional Service and Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) deepens collaboration aimed at preventing external attacks on custodial centers. President Bola Tinubu urges Nigerians to shun violence, promote unity as Nigerians celebrate Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara advises Rivers people to celebrate legacy of fallen heroes on daily basis. And on the foreign scene, rescuers at an abandoned gold mine in South Africa recovered at least 60 bodies. Details in a moment. The Nigerian Correctional Service and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) have taken steps to deepen their collaboration aimed at preventing external attacks on custodial centers and for stolen jailbreaks in the country. To this end, the Commandant General of the Corps, Ahmed Odi, has directed that state commanders deploy additional personnel to custodial centers in their respective states custodial centers across the country to enable them witness the presence of more NSCDC personnel. Aldi, who recalled the killing of NSCDC personnel at Kuje Custodial Center in Abuja a few years ago during midnight attacks by terrorists, noted that the dynamics of maintaining peace and security around custodial centers have changed, given that Nigeria now faces an asymmetric war. He described the death of the NSCDC officer as painful, stating that the officer is always fearless, bold, and committed to his call of duty. The NSCDC boss spoke when he granted an audience to the Acting Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Sylvester Ndidi Nwakuche, at the headquarters of the Corps in Abuja. Aldi remarked that collaboration, understanding and commitment are the keys to keeping the nation's custodial centers safe, asserting that no single paramilitary institution can operate alone without synergy from others. Gunshots today disrupted the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which began hearing in Benin City, the state capital. Information available revealed that hoodlums were also reportedly seen outside the turbocharged venue of the tribunal, where gunshots rent the air, leaving people to scamper for safety. The tribunal had commenced hearing of the petitions challenging the September 21, 2024 Edo governorship election, where Monday Okpebolo of the All Progressives Congress (APC) was declared winner. The main challenger at the tribunal is Aswe Ighodalo of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Meanwhile, the PDP and the APC in the South state have traded words over the shooting incident at the tribunal venue. APC chairman in the state, Emperor Jared Tenebe, alleged that the disturbing and unacceptable incident was carried out by members of the PDP. However, the chairman of the Edo PDP Caretaker Committee, Anthony Aziegbemi, refuted the claims of the APC, accusing the party of sponsoring thugs to disrupt the tribunal. Aziegbemi claimed that the APC is clearly scared of justice and have continued their devious ploy to frustrate PDP from reclaiming the mandate duly given by the good people of Edo State in the last governorship election at the tribunal, and have now resorted to deploying thugs disguised in PDP-branded attire to disrupt the legal process while pointing accusing fingers at their party. The Nigerian Senate has written an emotional tribute in remembrance of soldiers killed in the line of duty and those in active service as the world marks the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. A statement signed by the Chairman Senate Committee on Army, Senator Abdulaziz Yeredwa, described their sacrifices for the defense of the country as selfless. Senator Yaradua, on behalf of the Senate Committee on Nigerian Army, praised the fallen heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of this great nation, and also commended the 7 officers and soldiers who are currently maintaining the peace and ensuring that the nation is secure and safe from internal and external aggression. The statement assured that the sacrifices of the dead officers and soldiers in the last year will not be forgotten, and expressed hope that the nation will continue to care for them, providing support and comfort in their time of need. He urged that the soldiers continue to work towards a nation where peace, unity, and prosperity reign supreme. President Bola Tinubu has insisted that global collaboration is key to sustainable development. President Tinubu gave the assurance on the second day of the 2025 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week on From Climate Imperatives into Economic Prosperity, Bridging Africa with a Global Energy Future in the United Arab Emirates. Tinubu disclosed that Nigeria is ready to work with other nations to build a resilient, equitable and sustainable world for all. President Tinubu declared that no single nation can walk the road to sustainability alone, stressing that global interconnectedness demands collective action, knowledge sharing and mutual support. He also noted that the fight against climate change is not merely an environmental necessity, but a global economic opportunity to reshape the trajectory of our continent and the global energy landscape, reiterating his administration's commitment to reducing carbon emissions, just as he assured the audience that the Nigerian government had developed actionable programs in line with global expectations, bearing in mind Nigeria's economic and political expectations. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to embrace peace and unity, urging them to eschew violence and divisive tendencies in the quest for a prosperous and harmonious nation. The president's appeal came as the country commemorated the annual Armed Forces Remembrance Day, a solemn occasion to honor those who have sacrificed their lives in defense of Nigeria's sovereignty. In a message he posted on his verified X handle, the president emphasized the critical need for national and global peace, reminding Nigerians of the ultimate sacrifices made by the country's ex-servicemen and women. He noted that the observance is not only an opportunity to express gratitude, but also to reflect on the ongoing efforts of military personnel who continue to safeguard Nigeria's territorial integrity. Highlighting the significance of unity, President Tinubu urged all citizens to become ambassadors of peace, stressing that collective efforts could pave the way for a future filled with hope and optimism. He reaffirmed his commitment to fostering a nation where peace and unity serve as the foundation for development. Tinubu extended heartfelt gratitude to the nation's armed forces and called for renewed dedication to the ideals for which they stood. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to honoring the sacrifices of the nation's heroes. Here in Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has advised the people of the state to celebrate the legacy of fallen heroes on a daily basis and not just on a day of Armed Forces Remembrance. Fubara, who spoke during the celebration of Armed Forces Remembrance Day held in Port Harcourt, said the advice became necessary following the contribution of the fallen heroes and active members of the armed forces in securing lives and properties. The governor maintained that only the brave will forsake family and comfort to protect lives and freedom of others, hence the need to celebrate the military. Governor Fubara further pledged continuous support to widows of fallen heroes, just as he donated 50 million naira to widows of the fallen heroes.
Our armed forces stood resolute, defending us, keeping peace, and upholding our nation's integrity, and ensuring the survival of our beloved country. Even as we speak, our servicemen and women remain in the front line, courageously combating insurgency and other threats to our security. Thousands of our soldiers have paid the supreme price, testament to their bravery and selflessness. Soldier is an extraordinary character who voluntarily signed up to serve, if need be, lay down their life so others can live. Only the brave and forsake the comforts of their family and home to protect the life and freedom of millions. We commit ourselves to honoring their legacies, not only on the day or this day, but every day through prayers, gratitude, and purposeful action.
Rivers State Governor also called for unity and inclusiveness of every part of the country, which will bring about development and security.
We will prioritize the inclusion of family of the fallen heroes in our social welfare and investment program. May I also use this opportunity to call the well-meaning citizens and private organizations to extend their support to these families, helping them overcome the economic challenges. We remain vigilant and steadfast in preserving this peace and will continue to provide the necessary support to security formation in the state to ensure they can effectively discharge their duties. Finally, I call on every citizen to rally around our armed forces and work together to strengthen our national unity. We must ensure that every section of the country feels included and valued.
You're listening to the World News on Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Just stay with us.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. A group in Ogoni ethnic nationality, the Ogoni Development Drive, ODD, says the incident occurred along Eleme axis of the East-West Road that led to the death of expatriate from the Netherlands, Gibson Reuben, is a constant reminder of the harsh reality that the people of Niger Delta and Rivers people have been living with for so long. The convener of ODD, Solomon Lenu, said Rivers people expected that the fire incident that occurred in that same season of East-West Road that led to the loss of lives and properties would have been a wake-up call that would have created the level of urgency for the repairs of the road. Lenu complained that despite the economic values that area brings to the nation, the federal government have continued to show a high level of neglect against the people, resulting to constant accidents and impassable state of the road. The convener of ODD called on politicians from the region to come all out to join forces with the people to say enough of the neglect on the people.
About 3 years ago, we had what was Christian, the mother of all protests, when that road was blocked for about a week because of the same dilapidated state of the road and the incessant accident and the loss of life that were recorded on that road every now and then. Unfortunately, 3 to 4 years after, nothing has been done. And I think it is high time, our politicians and our leaders, our captains of industries and leaders of thought will come all out and join forces together and say enough is enough. What the federal government is doing on that road is.
The people of Umakoro Kingdom in Igboeche, in Eche local government area of River State, have been thrown into panic over the killing of one of their sons, identified as Sopuruchi Emmanuel Epele, by yet-to-be-identified hoodlums terrorizing the area. An eyewitness who spoke to Today FM's correspondent reports that Emmanuel Epele went to the bush belonging to his late father that has been in dispute to survey it after the court had declared them the winners of the said land. Our source said suspected hoodlums with police uniforms surrounded him with 2 Okada riders and shot him dead, disclosing that the 2 Okada riders have been missing. A sister to the deceased, Comfort Amechi, accused some individuals who they won in court over the same land dispute of hiring those who pulled the trigger against the victim, while alleging that one renounced clergyman is the sole sponsor of the hoodlums.
After when we might have win them in our father's land, they said that they must kill Sop and kill me, kill everybody in the family, that we don't have anybody. Reaching today, my brother went to that place. They went and killed him. They went to go and survey the land that we win. They went and killed him. Just another Okada, people that carried them, about 2 Okadas. Now that I'm telling you, we are looking for 2 boys again that went for the work there. Sop is dead. Look at him lying. They saw them. Okay. Face to face, I think with a heavy gun, all of them. Video case with about groups of boys. 10 in number.
Today FM's correspondent gathered that as at the time of filing this report, the corpse of the dead man has been brought back to his family house, while efforts are ongoing by the police in collaboration with the Chief Security Officer of Eche local government area to discover the whereabouts of the 2 Okada riders. Police personnel have also been deployed in the area to prevent some angry youths from carrying out certain actions that could lead to destruction of properties in the area. The youth president of Umakuru community, Samuel Amadi, is also calling on the state government to intervene before the crisis escalates.
Going on in my community right now, and brothers in the family, they are fighting themselves. Houses have been burned, and it's a serious thing. A lot of casualty has been recorded. People are running head-to-scatter in my community. We are not safe. So calling on the government and the other security agencies to come and help us. The situation has been escalated, and people are running head-to-scatter. We are falling apart, and we can't help the situation anymore. So we are calling on government, local government chairman, the governor. Let them come and help us, please, because the place right now is unsafe.
The leadership of the Apex socio-cultural organization in Ikwerre land, Obako Ikwerre Worldwide, has continued to receive criticism over their threat to declare anyone who accepts the position of the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo non-Ikwerre. A stakeholder from Ikwerre Extraction, Chinedu Odike, in reaction to the comment, condemned the threat by Obako Ikwerre, saying that individuals have the fundamental rights to belong to any group of their choice. Odike urged the President General of Obako Ikwerre to be mindful of those coming around him to advise him on some certain issues, insisting that Obako Ikwerre is a respected group that should not be toyed with.
It is very shameful coming from the Obako Ikwerre Cultural Organization. That statement is condemnable on its totality. Senator John Mbata has the right of association, and if he has found one, then let it so be it. Not to rush on the media to begin to make inflammatory statement declaring him an enemy to his people. That is very wrong. Coming from a respected organization, the Obako Ikwerre Cultural Organization. I am calling on the President General, a respected father, as a barrister, God power, to please withdraw that statement.
The people of Minikpiti community, also known as the Ishi family in Rumolumini in Obiakpo local government area of River State, are calling on the state government, local government authorities, and the security agencies to intervene over alleged hostile activities of the management of the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. Ishi family in Rumolumini, in a statement signed by its head, Chief Thank God Mark, and Secretary Barrister Oru Kingsley Chike, said the management of Ignatius Ajuru University of Education is deliberately and systematically denying the Minikpiti people, who are the immediate host community, of opportunities in the ongoing staff recruitment and employment exercise. The statement noted that the Ishi family, being the immediate host community of the institution, which houses and accommodates the main campus, has remained peaceful despite consistent acts of provocation by the university. noting that the continued acts of aggression by the institution may encourage a breakdown of law and order. The people of Ishi family and Minipikti community further stressed that despite the availability of qualified manpower, the institution has denied the community its rights, noting that the community's rights are freely extended to neighboring communities. The statement noted that the issue of the stool of the paramount ruler of Rumolumini is a matter pending before the High Court of River State. Hence, Minipiti, which remains the immediate host community, ought to be duly incorporated in all community consultations with respect to the said exercise. They, however, called on the River State government and all well-meaning Nigerians to prevail on the institution to concede employment opportunities to Ishi family, as they warned against ignoring the tension brewing within the community over the matter. On the foreign scene, Daniel Chapo of Mozambique's long-ruling Frelimo party has been inaugurated as president. Chapo succeeds Felipe Nyusi, who served the maximum 2 terms. The inauguration followed an October election decried as rigged by opposition parties and after months of violent protests against the vote results. International rights groups believe more than 100 people were killed by security forces, but some local groups put the death toll at more than 200. Frelimo is a leftist party that was once a guerrilla movement that liberated Mozambique from colonialism. It has often been accused of rigging elections since the nation's first democratic vote in 1994. The election followed a bloody 15-year civil war Frelimo fought after independence against rebel group Renamo, which is now an opposition party. On the foreign scene, rescuers at an abandoned gold mine in South Africa have recovered at least 60 bodies as they press ahead with their operation. According to authorities, more than 90 survivors have been pulled out as of Tuesday evening. Hundreds more still thought to be beneath the ground, many dead and others too weak to come out on their own. In November, authorities cut off supplies from the surface for a period of time in a bid to force out the men who were mining illegally. Police insist that miners can come out but are not doing so for fear of being arrested. To end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. The Nigerian Correctional Service and Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) have deepened their collaboration aimed at preventing external attacks on the custodial centers. President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to shun violence, promote unity as Nigerians celebrate Armed Forces Remembrance Day. We told you that Rivers Governor Siminalayi Fubara has advised the people of Rivers State to celebrate legacy of fallen heroes on a daily basis. And on the foreign scene, you heard that rescuers at an abandoned gold mine in South Africa have recovered at least 60 bodies. Uchendu Ejo Hor edited the news. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850. Send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. Read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Amaka Felix. Thank you for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Want to know what's happening? Get latest information in sports, politics, lifestyle, you name it. The frequency of choice. Today 95.1 FM. Today 95.1 FM. We serve you the latest updates on everything. Today 95.1 FM. We are the voice of the people.
Red is passion. pink is for unconditional love. Blue is for loyalty, while black is secretive and mysterious.
Baby, tonight's the night.
Let's talk about love. The passion, the bliss, the betrayal, and everything in between. On Lovey Dovey, Mondays to Thursdays from 11 p.m. beneath the night sky with the Amaka Felix on Today 95.1 FM. Unleash the power of the airwaves with the ultimate radio experience. Tune in to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Don't just listen, immerse yourself.
That is 100% true.
What do you love listening to? What's your style? What's your choice? What do you yearn for? So we've got great talk, amazing conversations, and entertainment, sports, and lifestyle. So tune in to Today 95.1 FM Pawtucket, because we are the voice of the people. The voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM Pawtucket, a voice of the people. It is time again for a rundown of the foreign news stories that made the headlines on the world today. I am Amaka Felix. Let's begin with the headlines. Congo jails 3 Chinese citizens in illegal mining crackdown. Nearly 200 arrested in West Africa crackdown on illegal gold and sand mining. U.S. calls for post-conflict vision as Gaza ceasefire nears. South Korea's President Yoon arrested over a short-lived martial law attempt. Details in a bit. A Congolese court has sentenced 3 Chinese citizens to 7 years in prison after they were arrested in possession of gold bars and $400,000 in cash and found guilty of illegal activities linked to the artisanal mining sector. The trio are the first Chinese nationals to stand trial since Democratic Republic of Congo launched its latest push to crack down on the unlicensed extraction of the many precious and strategic minerals buried in its conflict-torn east. A lawyer representing local communities in the trial, Christian Wanduma, disclosed that this is an educational trial that should normally serve as a wake-up call to all Chinese nationals who think they can leave China, arrive in Kitutu, Kibe, Lugushwa, Kamituga, or Mwenga and behave as if they were in their own room without even paying the hotel fees. The judge in a court in Bukavu, the capital of Eastern South Kivu province, found the defendants guilty on Tuesday of money laundering, illegal purchase and possession of mineral substances, and other charges. In addition to the prison sentence, the judge ordered them to pay a fine equivalent to $600,000 and permanently banned them from Congo once their sentences are served. The West African police announced yesterday that about 200 arrests, seizures of dangerous chemicals, explosives, and at least 150 kilograms of cyanide, 325 kilograms of activated carbon, and explosive devices were confiscated. This is the outcome of an operation targeting illegal gold mining in Burkina Faso, Gambia, Guinea, and Senegal. The use of harmful chemicals by these illegal miners has detrimental effects not only on the environment but also on the health of nearby residents. West African police actions also marked the first time they combated illegal sand mining in Gambia. Sand extraction has become an escalating threat, wreaking havoc on local ecosystems and livelihoods. Ethiopia and Somalia buried their year-long hatchets caused by Addis Ababa's quest for sea access from Somaliland. The African Union has called the restoration of full ties between the two countries an important milestone. The 54-nation bloc, which is headquartered in Ethiopia's capital, walked a tightrope throughout the dispute, careful not to criticize its host while also facing Somali pressure to intervene. The revival of ties followed Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud's trip to Addis Ababa on the weekend. Last December, following Turkey's mediation, the two leaders pledged to resolve the dispute and to negotiate a potential deal granting landlocked Ethiopia access to the sea. The development means Ethiopian troops will stay in Somalia as part of an African Union peacekeeping mission. Somalia had initially threatened to replace them with Egyptian soldiers. Away from African countries to the rest of the world, the government of Haiti have sworn in Mario Andresol as the new state secretary of public security yesterday as they continue to struggle with a surge in gang violence. Andresol, who served as director of Haiti's national police nearly 20 years ago, pledged to crack down on gangs and crime, including weapons and drug trafficking. He stated at a press conference that they need to think or rethink the strategy that will allow them to fight transnational crime that weakens their internal security. He also held a moment of silence for victims of violence. Joining Andresol was Haitian Prime Minister Alex Fils-Aimé, who said he was taking responsibility for placing the right people in the right places to protect Haitians and provide security. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has revealed that Hamas has recruited almost as many new fighters as it has lost in its 16-month full-scale war with Israel. Washington's top diplomat made the assertion during a speech yesterday in which he reiterated the Biden administration's stance that Hamas cannot be defeated by a military campaign alone. The comments come amid hope that a ceasefire deal is close. However, plans for the post-conflict period remain vague amid complex and competing ambitions. Blinken told the Atlantic Council think tank that without a clear alternative, a post-conflict plan, and a credible political horizon for the Palestinians, Hamas was something just as abhorrent and dangerous will grow back. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly said that total victory over Hamas and destruction of the armed group is a major goal of his country's war in Gaza. However, analysts and even Israeli military officials and politicians have questioned the likelihood of achieving that aim. Advisors to President-elect Donald Trump have acknowledged that the Ukraine war will take months or even longer to resolve. Two Trump associates who have discussed the war in Ukraine with the president-elect told newsmen that they were looking at a timeline of months to resolve the conflict, describing the Day One promises as a combination of campaign bluster and a lack of appreciation of the intractability of the conflict and the time it takes to staff up a new administration. Those assessments merge with remarks by Trump's incoming Russia-Ukraine envoy, retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, who said in an interview last week that he would like to have a solution to the war within 100 days, far beyond the president-elect's original timeline. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has pledged to take the strongest possible action against Russia if it is confirmed that Russian forces killed a Melbourne school teacher in their captivity in Ukraine. Albanese made the remarks after newsmen reported that Oscar Jenkins, who volunteered to fight with Ukrainian forces, was believed to have been killed. Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade has said it has not verified the report, which cited unnamed sources in Ukraine, but officials have grave concerns for Jenkins' welfare. Albanese told reporters in Tasmania that they call upon Russia to immediately confirm Oscar Jenkins' status, adding that they remain gravely concerned as they await the facts to come out. He also stressed that if there has been any harm caused to Oscar Jenkins, that's absolutely reprehensible, and the Australian government will take the strongest action possible. South Korean investigators have arrested South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol over accusations of insurrection for briefly imposing martial law in a move swiftly overturned by the country's National Assembly. The authorities said in a statement that the Joint Investigation Headquarters executed an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk-yeol today at 10:33 a.m., making Yoon the first South Korean president to be arrested while still in office. South Korea's news agency reported that the Deputy Chief of Korea's Corruption Investigation Office, CIO, Lee Jae-sung, led the questioning of Yoon inside an interrogation room, with Yoon's legal representatives present. The CIO said Yoon would be held at Seoul Detention Center in Uiwang following questioning. Bangladesh Treasury Minister Tulip Siddiq has resigned after growing pressure over an anti-corruption investigation in Bangladesh. She had referred herself to the Prime Minister's standards advisor, Sir Laurie Magnus, after questions about links to her aunt, who was ousted last year as Bangladesh's Prime Minister. Sir Laurie said he had not identified evidence of improprieties, but it was regrettable that Siddiq had not been more alert to the potential reputational risk of the ties to her aunt. Siddiq said continuing in her role would be a distraction for the government, insisting she had done nothing wrong. Before her resignation was announced, Siddiq had been named in a second investigation in Bangladesh. Siddiq, whose role as Economic Secretary to the Treasury included tackling corruption in UK financial markets, was named last month in an investigation into claims her family embezzled up to 3.9 billion euros from infrastructure spending in Bangladesh. The Ukrainian energy minister has revealed that Russia has launched a massive aerial attack against Ukraine today, forcing the country to introduce preventive power cuts. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky revealed that Moscow launched more than 40 missiles and at least 30 were shot down, adding that about 70 strike drones were involved in the attack, further stating that it remains unclear how many were intercepted. The attack came a day after the Russian Defense Ministry accused Ukraine of firing multiple Western-made missiles at Russia's Bryansk region and on the border with Ukraine, claiming in an online statement that the attack will not go unanswered. However, during the almost 3-year war, Russian forces have persistently attacked Ukraine's energy infrastructure to plunge the country into darkness and exhaustion during the winter months. And today's attack has further intensified the strain on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. And that story from Ukraine concludes tonight's edition of The World Today, as produced by Idoko Judith of the News Department. But before we go, here's a summary of the stories that made the headline. We told you that Congo has jailed 3 Chinese citizens involved in illegal mining crackdown. You heard that nearly 200 people were arrested in West Africa crackdown on illegal gold and sand mining. We also told you that the United States has called for post-conflict vision as Gaza ceasefire nears. And finally, South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol has been arrested over a short-lived martial law attempt. Till same time tomorrow, to have a lovely evening, and thank you for listening.
It's a triple experience on this frequency. Talk, news, and sports. Right here, every day on Today 95.1 FM. The voice of the people.
Red is passion. Pink is for unconditional love. Blue is for loyalty. While black is secretive and mysterious.
Baby, tonight,
Let's talk about love. The passion, the bliss, the betrayal, and everything in between. On Lovey Dovey, Mondays to Thursdays from 11 p.m. beneath the night sky with the Amaka Felix on Today 95.1 FM.
Say no to the ordinary. Embrace the extraordinary, because we are the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM.
365 days, around the clock, around the world, non-stop talk, news, and sports. The latest hit and the greatest memories on radio, serving our community, spreading love and color, because we are Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
it's becoming free. It's the grace of God.
BBC World Service, I'm Audrey Brown in London with Focus on Africa. Hope and fear as workers trapped in a gold mine in South Africa are finally brought to the surface, dead and alive.
We are praying that he comes out because they say that he's not in a good condition, so we don't know what's happening, but it's a very sad moment, but it's not about me. I need to be strong for him because I can't be weak now. He needs me more than ever.
As more African countries enter into nuclear energy deals with Russia, we take a closer look at the terms and conditions. And ice hockey is becoming a thing in Kenya.
I never imagined that I could play ice hockey, especially in Kenya. So stepping onto the ice was so slippery. It was exciting. It was an experience, I'd say, out of this world.
That's all on the BBC Tonight in Focus. First, the news.
I'm Debbie Russ with the BBC News. Hello. South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was arrested earlier on Wednesday, has released a letter saying his decision to impose martial law last month was not a crime. He said martial law could be used to overcome a national crisis, Mr. Yoon was taken into custody after a standoff at his official residence in Seoul. The opposition Democratic Party said Mr. Yoon's arrest was the first step towards restoring constitutional order and the rule of law. Kim Jun-hyung is an opposition MP.
It's a shame, but justice has been served. And Yoon is the first sitting president to be arrested in the country's history. First, he was impeached by Congress, and now is arrested for investigation. But the remaining schedule is the final procedure is constitutional court decisions. That's most important.
Negotiators from Israel and Hamas are continuing a final push towards clinching a Gaza ceasefire in talks in Qatar, even as Israeli forces have carried out more strikes on the Palestinian territory. An unnamed Israeli official has said that Hamas has now agreed to the draft of the ceasefire agreement. But the Israeli Prime Minister's office swiftly denied the report. Sharon Lifshitz, whose 84-year-old father is among those being held by Hamas, is hopeful a deal will be made.
I do feel it has gone further than before. I'm a bit concerned. I very much hope that the two sides are not going to come with new conditions at this point and that a deal will be signed today. I think the people of the region need a ceasefire.
Donald Trump's picks to become America's top diplomat and to head the Department of Justice are facing questions from US senators ahead of votes on their nominations. Marco Rubio, a senator from Florida, is likely to be approved as the next Secretary of State with ease. Pam Bondi, Mr. Trump's choice for Attorney General, may face tougher questions from Democrats. The authorities in Kosovo have raided offices serving a number of Serb communities just over 3 weeks before parliamentary elections. Kosovo's Albanian nationalist-led government wants to crack down on organisations in the republic backed by Serbia. Here's Guy Delorne.
These raids are the latest in a series of moves by Kosovo's authorities against Serb-owned interests. Kosovo's Interior Minister Zelal Svecla described the targets as parallel and criminal municipalities and institutions of Serbia. But Serbia's Foreign Minister Marko Đurić said the measures were an attack on the collective rights and identity of Serbs in Kosovo. Despite EU and US criticism, Kosovo authorities have previously banned Serbia's currency and closed Serb institutions ranging from health centres to petrol stations.
This is the latest world news from the BBC. Poland's Prime Minister has expressed confidence that the incoming Trump administration in the United States will cooperate with the EU and Ukraine on security if those countries prove their seriousness on issues such as defence spending. Donald Tusk insisted other partners must meet NATO spending targets. He cast Ukraine's security and future accession to the EU as vital for the bloc's own security. The new president of Mozambique, Daniel Chapu, has said he won't rest until a united and cohesive country is achieved and acknowledged that social harmony can't wait. He was speaking at his swearing-in ceremony, which took place 3 months after bitterly contentious elections. The opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, has meanwhile promised to protest every day to paralyse the country. Reports from Syria say an Egyptian militant has been arrested after he issued a series of calls on social media for the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to be overthrown. 2 security sources say that Ahmed al-Mansour is currently being held in a detention centre. He'd been a long-time member of the Islamist HTS armed group, which led the uprising that toppled Bashar al-Assad last month. Nominations for the BAFTAs, Britain's top film awards, have been announced, with the papal thriller Conclave in the running for 12. With more, here's Colin Patterson.
What if I don't want it?
Conclave is about scheming cardinals choosing the next pope. Its 12 nominations include Ralph Fiennes in Best Actor.
You are more worthy than any of us.
Where he's up against Timothée Chalamet for the Bob Dylan biopic A Complete Unknown. And 30 years after his only BAFTA win, Hugh Grant.
It may even make you want to die.
This time for the horror film Heretic. While at the age of 62, Demi Moore has a first BAFTA nomination, Best Actress for body horror The Substance.
BBC News.
Hello, I'm Audrey Brown, and today in Focus on Africa, more and more African countries are exploring nuclear energy deals with Russia.
As a continent, 600 million people don't have electricity. As the population grows, as the economy grows, there's going to be a need for more power. And nuclear has come up as a fast way to address this deficit.
We'll be taking a closer look at the terms and conditions. And in a land not known for snow or ice, Kenya is the new kid on the ice hockey block.
I never imagined that I could play ice hockey, especially in Kenya. You'd see it maybe on Christmas movies, that's where you see snow and ice, and it's like, well, that happens somewhere else, not in Kenya. So stepping onto the ice was so slippery. I couldn't control the skates. I would just go forward, make a very huge turn. It was exciting. It was an experience, I'd say, out of this world.
How did that happen? It's Wednesday, the 15th of January. First, we go to South Africa. The world has been watching as workers emerge from a mine in South Africa after spending months trapped underground. They stayed there in a shaft 2, maybe even 3 kilometers deep near a town called Stilfontein. They are informal miners. The gold mine they were working was meant to have been decommissioned and sealed off. Images of these men being brought up from the depths of the earth are shocking. They were there for months without enough food and water. Many of them died there, and those still alive had to endure decomposing bodies alongside them. Thing is, they weren't trapped underground due to a rockfall or a mining accident. They were stuck there because the South African government and the company that owns the mine didn't mount an operation to retrieve them. People from the surrounding community did that with makeshift equipment till a court order last week compelled the government to act. The BBC's Mayeni Jones is in Stilfontein.
We weren't allowed close to the mine itself. The police kept us a few meters away, so we had to film from a distance. And you could see this crane, this big red crane, lowering this metal cage deeper underground. The shaft is said to be at least 2 kilometers deep. The estimates seem to vary. Some authorities did say it could be as deep as 3 kilometers deep. So hourly, this cage was being lowered down, taking supplies down to the miners and then coming back up with survivors. Initially, they were prioritizing the sickest, but they were also bringing up dead bodies. And I did ask a trade union representative what kind of prioritizing dead bodies when there were so many kind of sick and emaciated people down there. And they said it's because some of those bodies, some of these people had been dead for so long, their bodies were decomposing, and they were concerned that their families wouldn't be able to identify them if they waited much longer. So it was pretty sobering to see some of these miners being brought up. They were very emaciated, very skinny. You could see bones poking out of their shoulders and their backs. Some looked so small and so light that they looked almost like children. And the emergency services were having to help some of them walk because they could barely walk on their own. So I think it really brought home just how terrible the conditions were down there and how long these people have been going without food or water.
So people coming up, being helped, very, very emaciated. They've been there for a long time, some of them from back in August. Just tell us a little bit about these people. Mayeni, who are they? And tell us about the community's reaction and the community's involvement in this.
So a number of these miners are said to be from the local community, from a local township. But the problem with this story, unfortunately, is that we don't know exactly how many miners are down there, right? Because it was an illegal operation. The authorities were keen to kind of point out that the vast majority of these miners are illegal migrants. And therefore, that is partly their problem with the operation. They say not only is it criminality, but it's also being carried out by people who shouldn't be in South Africa. But we did speak to a young South African woman called Zinzi Tom. Her brother, Ayanda, has been down in the mine since June. And she told us a bit more about him.
We hopefully today he will come out, because we are praying that today it is because we have sent the way that he should come closer. At least the guy helped us, told us that he's in 62 level. So we are praying that he comes out, because they say that he's not in a good condition. He wanted even to go out in a gators. So we don't know what's happening, but we have sent a way to tell him to come. He's a quiet person. He doesn't like to disclose more about his life, Yes, that's why, like, as much as I'm doing this, but I'm trying to respect his privacy at the very same time, because he's a very quiet person.
We've just been listening to Zinzi Tom, the Mayeni, a young woman whose brother is stuck in the mine. And she said something that interested me, that, they had been helping people, bringing them to the surface and so on, because we know that the South African authorities, and you hinted at that as well, had made clear that they wanted to smoke these people out rather than rescue them from the dire situation that they were in. So what changed between November, when we first started covering this in any detail, to now, when the South African authorities are now actually bringing people to the surface and helping them out?
Yeah, what changed is that people like Zinzi, and supported by workers' unions, supported by rights groups, took the government to court to try and compel them to start a rescue operation. There had been a dispute over, for instance, who should bear the brunt of the cost of the operation. Local media saying that it will cost up to $628,000 to extract the miners from the shafts. So there was a dispute over who should cover it. The government said that the mine was owned by a company that should cover it because they had failed to seal the mine properly and stop miners from getting there. There was also issues around the depth of the mine. It's estimated to be between 2 and 3 kilometers deep, so they needed to find the right machinery to go there. But the government also has, as you mentioned, been cracking down on illegal mining. They launched this operation last year called Vala Umgodi, which in Zulu translates as close the hole. And part of their aim was to try and close as many of these unused mines as possible, but also to take a real hard line on any illegal miners that are found down there. And that's why initially, when we were covering the story, they were refusing to bring down food and water. They had sealed some of the exits to the mine. Rights groups said they had told them that there were people trapped down there. There was one exit, but it was very awkward. The local community said they had a makeshift rope that they were sending down the hole to try and pull people up, but it was taking up to an hour per person to bring them up. And also a lot of the miners were too weak towards the end to try and make that journey themselves. So the local community, supported by the trade unions, took the government to court, and on Friday the High Court in Pretoria found in their favour and compelled the government to start the rescue mission.
In the meantime, people have been dying, they're sick, there are dead bodies decomposing in the mines. Is there any hope that it can be speeded up? Because people are desperate and they've been there for so long.
I think what really kind of shifted the coverage of this story is video footage that was released on Monday showing the conditions down in the mine, showing these men that were starving, showing rows and rows of bodies wrapped in plastic. And that made it very urgent that these men be pulled out.
That's the BBC's Mayeni Jones. Now, I know this is not news to you, but Russia has been investing heavily in its relationships with African countries. Moscow continues to pursue a combination of military, diplomatic, and economic interests on the continent. In recent years, Rosatom, Russia's state-owned nuclear corporation, which holds about 70% of the global export market for new nuclear power plants, has signed agreements with various African countries to develop nuclear energy programs. According to research by the United Nations in 2023, nearly 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa are without electricity. That's nearly half the region's population. So is Russia Africa's light at the end of the tunnel? Dr. Joseph Siegel is the Director of Research at the Africa Center for Strategic Studies. He says it's not that simple. Just give us, in broad but vivid strokes, the situation. How many African countries already have agreements in place with Russia?
There's about 20 African countries that have memorandums of understanding to explore the development of nuclear power with Russia. Only a handful of those have signed nuclear power agreements which is another stage of the development of the process. Ethiopia, Burundi, Zimbabwe, Mali, Burkina Faso. In practical terms, these are still discussions rather than actual implementation. The only plant that is currently under construction is one in Egypt, the El Dabab plant west of Alexandria.
Give us an idea, if you would, a couple of countries dotted around the continent that are still in the initial phase.
Well, other countries that have opened the conversation include Algeria, Ghana, the Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sudan, Tunisia, and Zambia. There's some other ones that have signed those memorandums of understanding.
What happened to the South Africa-Russia deal that was signed by Jacob Zuma and his government not so long ago?
Yeah, that's very instructive for the broader conversation because there was a big deal, a $76 billion deal that had been signed. It was planned to move forward. However, that was challenged within the South African court system, and it was ultimately blocked by High Court as being unconstitutional, and then it was dismissed by the Ramaphosa government when it came into office. It was rejected because it was seen as highly one-sided in favor of the Russians. There was also a lot of concerns that it was replete with a lot of patronage and would have saddled South Africa with a huge debt that it wouldn't have been able to repay and wouldn't have been economically feasible for what the plant would have generated.
So let's take a look at the countries that are now looking to Russia to fix their power crises. Why are they turning to Russia?
Well, first of all, let's be clear. These are just conversations and they haven't actually proceeded. Some of this is just dialogue. I think the bigger point is that, Africa as a whole and these individual countries in particular have serious energy deficits that they're trying to fill. And they're looking at the best ways to do that. As a continent in Africa, 600 million people don't have electricity. 800 billion people are getting their power through charcoal or kerosene. And so as the population grows, as the economies grows, there's going to be a need for more power. And the question is how best to do that. And nuclear has come up as a fast way of generating more power that can help to address this deficit. But there are a whole host of other energy supply technologies out there: solar thermal, wind, geothermal, hydrogen that is coming online that Africa could be well suited to tap into. And so I think we really want to put this conversation about Russia's outreach on the nuclear in a broader context.
Is this a Russian initiative to go out into African countries to do this? Or is it the case that other countries are not actually offering this as an option for African countries?
There are other countries that are available and have the capability to provide and help develop nuclear power in Africa. And the U.S. has been exploring possibilities with some countries. China has been reaching out. France, in fact, has been working with the South Africans since the 1980s for their nuclear plant. And so there are other options. I think what we're seeing is that Russia's also using the nuclear power outreach as part of its soft power diplomacy on the continent. It sees the huge energy gaps and it is marketing itself as a partner on these issues. And so it's using that as a way of, advancing its geostrategic posture on the continent, even though not many of these agreements are feasible or moving forward.
Let's talk about the feasibility of these agreements and also the lessons that may or may not have been learned from the South African experience. These new deals or these new attempts, do we know some of the elements of them, and are they on better terms than the South African one was?
Again, there aren't any other deals that are that as far advanced to compare with, but that is the big concern. We do have another active project underway in Egypt, and this is a $30 billion deal with the Egyptians to build 4 reactors. That too is controversial because of the cost and whether it's something the Egyptians are going to be able to repay. 80% of that, about $25 billion, was financed by the Russians. And so it creates a indebtedness that Egyptian citizens are going to have to repay over time. And so there are big questions economically on whether that's going to be viable. It also raises an important political question, because with that level of indebtedness, it opens a country up to leverage from an external actor. And when we talk about nuclear power, it's really important to consider this is a decades-long investment. The technology, the technical expertise that is required really has to come from countries that already have nuclear power. And so it's really wedding a country to this external partner for some time, where they're going to be dependent on that particular expertise. And so you really need to choose your partner wisely, because this could be a real long-term and costly commitment.
Dr. Joseph Siegel, Director of Research at the Africa Center of Strategic Studies. Now listen to this and tell me which game is being played. It's ice hockey. Did you guess that right? I didn't. Anyway, Kenya's Ice Lions are practicing ice hockey with their Canadian coach, Tim Colby. I know you are wondering why people in a country not known for ice or snow are playing a game that is associated with countries where ice and snow is the order of the day. It's difficult to see how it could become a major sport on the continent, but interest is growing in several countries, with national teams being formed in Kenya, South Africa, Morocco, Algeria, and Egypt. The Kenyan team recently became members of the International Ice Hockey Federation, and now they want to compete on the international stage. Brian Kisa is a journalist in Nairobi. He's been watching the Ice Lions practice, and he's been finding out how ice hockey came to Kenya.
Ice hockey is not that popular in Kenya. Speaking from personal experience, the only reason I even knew the sport existed was from TV shows, like from Disney's Mighty Ducks, which is a show about an ice hockey team in Canada. So that's the only way my interaction I had with the sport. And for other Kenyans, they just see it on TV. But there was the time when the ice rink was opened up at Panari in Nairobi, and a few expats started just kind of renting the space to play ice hockey. And then more and more people, especially local Kenyans, started picking up the interest. And that's how the Ice Lions were formed, just from, local enthusiasts curious about the sport, taking the chance and taking the opportunity to play this interesting sport.
So what inspired these enthusiasts to actually start playing hockey and to take it so seriously as well?
Well, I think one being most of them already had some sort of experience playing hockey, just like infield hockey. And most of them usually gather and play on weekends in Nairobi CBD using rollerblades. And when the ice rink opened up and these expat teams started showing up with the gear and with all these things that these people have seen on TV, playing on the ice, it kind of spawned an interest amongst these young people to, make that transition, move from just regular inland hockey and play ice hockey and experience ice hockey. Because for most of them, it obviously doesn't snow in Kenya. So being able to experience that skiing on ice is definitely something that drew these young men. We got a chance to speak with the Kenya Ice Lions captain, Benjamin Mburu, and let's hear what he has to say about the sport.
I never imagined that I could play ice hockey, especially in Kenya. You'd see it maybe on Christmas movies. That's where you see snow and ice, and it's that happens somewhere else, not in Kenya. So stepping onto the ice was so slippery. I luckily had the balance from the inline hockey, but then I couldn't control the skates. I would just go forward, make a very huge turn. It was exciting. It was an experience, I'd say, out of this world.
That was Benjamin Mburu, who's the captain of the team. So they had the ice rink built, they had the equipment, but I'm just wondering, was it actually difficult for them to get used to playing on ice?
Well, from the discussions we had with them, since they already had the experience with inland hockey and rollerblading on land, in principle, it's more or less the same. However, when it comes now to the traction, it's very different because traction on land versus traction on ice is it's actually very different. So it's a bit more slippery. Even when I went on the ice, I struggled a lot to gain my balance and, stay upright. But for Benjamin and the team, since they already had that experience with rollerblading and inland hockey, the transition wasn't as difficult.
Ice hockey involves a lot of safety equipment, and we've been hearing that the players didn't necessarily have the right equipment, because I imagine that it would have been expensive to get, to import into Kenya, and people enthusiastic but not necessarily knowing what the right equipment was either. So how did they deal with that?
You're absolutely right. Ice hockey is a very physical sport and it needs very specialized equipment. And Benjamin Burrow actually shared the experience of how they were able to acquire the equipment.
For the longest, most of us played with just shin pads, which was the bare minimum. The other issue was hockey sticks. If a hockey stick broke, you'd have to wait another, 3-4 months before maybe an expert would bring you one or someone leaves one behind.
Benjamin Mburu again. Is it a men-only sport, or are women also getting involved?
Women are actually getting involved. The Kenya Ice Lions are in the process of starting a women's team. We actually got a chance to speak with a Kenya Ice Lions player, Caroline Joseph, who shared her story as to how she joined the team.
Playing ice hockey feels amazing together with the men, because we are also growing as women, because we also want to grow as a women's team.
That's Caroline Joseph. What does ice hockey mean for these players, do you think, Brian?
I think for most of them, it means that they have an opportunity to basically to forge a new future for themselves, to take them out of where they are, because some of them come from, not well-to-do families, but this sport is offering them an opportunity to, even grow economically. It's taking them out of this country. It's flying them out of this country. They get a chance to go to Canada and South Africa and all these other countries and participate on the global stage and represent their country in the process.
That's the journalist Brian Kisa in Nairobi. Focus on Africa was put together by Victor Silva, Nyasha Michelle, Priya Sipi, and Sunita Nahar here in London. Paul Bachibinga was the senior producer. Chris Kuzaris was our technical producer. Andre Lombard and Alice Bidenki are our editors. Our pod sister, Africa Daily, will be looking at the situation in Mozambique as unrest continues following the disputed election of Daniel Chapo. I'm Audrey Brown, and we'll talk again next time.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Say no to the ordinary. Embrace the extraordinary, because we are the voice of the people. Voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM.
Lately I've been losing these nights. One more heartbreak and I'm done with this. Shadows on the ceiling, they don't fight, but I still argue for the hell of it. I'm trying my hardest now, I feel you reaching now. I don't wanna be the one that's always on the edge. You found me all messed up, you found me down on my luck, so lost. But then I woke up in love. When I was chasing highs, you went and saved my life. You picked me up, thank God I woke up in love with you. Thought I was lost, but then I woke up in love with you. Thought I was lost, but then I woke up in love. Sometimes all those dark days, but they try to find me, but that's when I lean on you. whatever happens, my trouble's behind me, 'cause your love's gonna see me through. Nothing can bring me down. I feel you reaching now. You're pulling me back when I'm about to reach the edge. You found me all messed up. You found me down on my luck, so lost. But then I woke up in love. When I was chasing highs, you went and saved my life. You picked me up. Thank God I woke up in love with you. Thought I was lost, but then I woke up in love with you. Thought I was lost, but then I woke up in love. Then I woke up in love. And then I woke up in love. So lost, but then I woke up in love. So lost, but then I woke up in love with you. Thought I was lost, but then I woke up in love.
I was falling apart, so caught in the dark. Now that you're gone, I see it. You were out of my way, but so much has changed. So where did you go? Tell me you love me, or tell me you're leaving. Don't keep me waiting here all night, 'cause you weren't already ready for someone to stay right by your side. Oh, I don't wanna let you go. I'm a little lost without you, a little lost without you, my darling, you're all I know. I'm a little lost without you, a little lost without you, without you by my side. I lost count of the days, so lost in a haze. Wherever I go, I feel you. You say you needed some time to go back and find you. How could I know? Oh, tell me you love me, or tell me you're leaving. Don't keep me waiting here all night, 'cause you weren't already ready for someone to stay right by your side. Oh, I don't wanna let you go. I'm a little lost without you, a little lost without you, my darling, you're all I know. I'm a little lost without you, a little lost without you, without you by my side. A little lost without you. I'm a little lost without you, a little lost without you. It's a classic me mistake. Someone gives me love and I throw it all away. Tell me, have I gone insane? Talking to myself, but I don't know what to say. Cause you let go, and now I'm holding on. I guess you don't know what you got until it's gone. Sometimes you gotta lose somebody just to find out you really love someone. And I do, and I do, and I do, yeah. Sometimes you gotta lose somebody just to find out you really love someone. Yeah, sometimes you gotta lose somebody. So don't tell me it's too late. Hearts are made to bend, baby, please don't let me break it. I knew I should have stayed, cause now you're moving on, and I don't know what to say, cause you let go, and now I'm holding on. I guess you don't know what you got until it's gone. Sometimes you gotta lose somebody just to find out you really love someone. And I do, and I do, and I do, yeah. Sometimes you gotta lose somebody just to find out you really love someone. Yeah, sometimes you gotta lose somebody.
Who are you losing? Well, please, though, I don't think we should do that losing anybody thing. But it's a beautiful song by Cargo and One Republic. I don't know, I'm feeling a little cargo-ish tonight. I've given you Woke Up in Life by Cargo, then Cargo and I'm doing Lewis. But Lost Without You. Are you lost without somebody? Is there somebody who does it for you, and then somebody without whom you would not be who you are, or you would not be where you are? You know, all the rishi, basically, the sprinkles, little sprinkling of sugar, a little sprinkling of ice, and everything nice. Anyway, it is lovey-dovey, beautiful people. I do hope you had a splendid day. Well, we're about to have a splendid night on the show. Woo! Last night was explosive. Last night into this morning was explosive because y'all has a lot of things to say. You know, when I talk about certain issues, you know, I love how you men come out to, you know, debunk or accept that it's true. And I love that sometimes you come from a place of personal experience. I love that we have that going on WWE. I love that we can share that with each other. That I can tell you things and you in return can tell me things. I like all of that. I love that we have this relationship going on. It's like we are dating, but we're not dating. Are we in a situationship? Anyway, beautiful people, I did for you, and I hope that you did for me too. We're going to have fun. You guys already know how we do it now. You would need to first off take your place, take your seat at the table, sit pretty, relax, enjoy amazing songs, and then we'll have a conversation. You know that I will open the phone lines, you call in, and you will tell me how it is for you. Okay, the conversation on the table tonight is a very serious one, a very important conversation, because it's, you know how we are very religious in this country. Earlier, while I was doing the thrill, I had a caller who said something about turning to God. Okay, so I'll just walk you through that conversation. The Minister of Power, you know how last year was the year of national grid collapsing. 2024 and national grid collapse 5 and 6. We experienced that over 8 times, right? And so looking at the whole situation, the Minister of Power, in a conference held in Abuja, he told the Senate Committee on Power that there's no guarantee yet that we'll not experience national grid this year. On Saturday here, we had a scare of national grid collapse, but then apparently it's either it was a false alarm or the national grid collapsed indeed, but they were able to fix it as quickly as possible and restored power. Well, we do not know. They are saying it is scare. Peter Obi even came out to do one speech like that. And then afterwards he said, oh, okay, they said it didn't collapse. Okay, no one, everybody's seeing lights. We are seeing power, no problem. And so we talked about it. And then the Minister of Power went to meet in this during this meeting with the House Committee on Power. Ogana said, look, this 2025, there's no guarantee that we'll not experience national grid collapse. So because there's still vandalism, there's still insecurity, there's still poor infrastructure, especially in areas of what's it called, in the north, especially in the north, right? And so he's like, if these challenges persist, we should expect national grid collapse this year. And I'm like, sir? I'm sorry, sir, you say what? I'm like, what is this, sir? Because it's like I'm the one I not hear you where. So we had that conversation during this meal, and so I had a caller who said, God forbid. He called in and he said, God forbid. And I'm like, it's like you're rejecting illness. It's like when somebody is prophesying doom. And then you're like, God forbid, or back to sender. So this is what one caller said. He said, God forbid, that it won't happen. And another caller said, we should just turn to God. We should push it to God in prayers. That this was not going to happen. The national grid will not collapse. We need to push it to God in prayers. And this is me. And this is me stifling my laughter, because I'm like, what is God doing inside gun 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 gun? Like, what's God doing inside gun? Is it God has given us the wisdom, right? He has already given us what it takes. We have what it takes. Nigerians, we are an incredibly smart race. That's the truth. When I think we make up for a huge population of the most intelligent people in the world. The thing is, we do not take advantage of our intelligence. In fact, we use our intelligence for I'm trying to describe what's the right word to describe how we use our intelligence. Like, we waste it, right? We waste our intelligence, and it's a really unfair situation. It's a really unfair situation because you can look at the things that you can just envisage, the things that we should be able to do, ordinarily as Nigerians. But somehow, religion plays a huge role in some of the things that we do. Because there are things that we can just sort out. You are looking at this as the problem, and then there's a possible solution. Nobody says you should quarrel or you should fight with God. But in a conversation like this, it was funny for me. It was funny to me when I had callers who said, God forbid, and who said we should pray that it won't happen. It's not a bad thing to pray. It's not a bad thing to pray at all, because believe, at least for those of you who believe in God, for those who believe in God, right? We live on His mercy, right? We are alive. We go to bed every other day, wake up every other day, because God is in our story. So God is a pivotal part of us for those who believe in the existence of a creator, right? And so looking at these things and looking at how fast we are quick to run to religion, for a lot of people there comes the whole so why do we do this thing in Nigeria where rather than face the problem or tackle the problem head on, we run to religion? We are hiding. We hide behind religion. We mask, it's unfortunate, but then we mask wickedness in religion. I've talked about it here before. People who post scriptures the most are sometimes the most wicked people ever. People who profess Christianity the most have the most blackest of hearts. It's crazy, but that's the sad reality. So it's how we have religion entwined in everything we do. Yet, we prove false to the godly devotion that we profess. We profess godly devotion, but we prove false to the godly devotion. So tonight we're having this conversation that is simple. Sex, marriage, and religion. Sex, marriage, and religion. That's what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're looking at. So it's something that I haven't quite figured out. But then I would love for us to have that conversation together. We'll sit on the table. We'll talk about it. I will give you the background, give you the deeds, and open the phone lines. You call in, you text in, and we go yarn. So we can sort this out and let's know what we are tackling heads on. For me, it's not a bad thing that we turn to, God, when we have to. I mean, it's something I do personally a lot. The problem, however, is when God has given you the brains to act, He has given you the means to do something differently. To do it, go ahead and do it. And then you fold your hands and you're waiting and asking questions and you're waiting for Him to come down and perform a miracle for you when He has given you the resources and He has given you a functioning brain that you should ordinarily use to decipher what to do going forward. Anyway, wahala, a day, but no day. A day, but it didn't day. We will talk, and I will take you through this whole narrative where sex, religion, and marriage is concerned. That's the conversation on the table tonight. Sex, marriage, religion. Sex, marriage, religion. So it's pretty. It's going to be a very beautiful conversation. It depends on where on carry me go. Before people say I'm carrying you to where you don't know me, I'm just innocently here. So, but then I'm all up for you carrying me to where I don't know. Because I know say last I know go lost. Okay, so we'll do this together, beautiful people. It's lovey-dovey. As the Amaka of Port Harcourt, I'm saying welcome.
I hope you're thinking of me. There won't be a night, there won't be a place where you don't cross my mind, where I don't see your face in somebody. I hope you're thinking of me. People say we're fools, people say we're dumb. People say we're caught up in temporary love. We don't know what we're doing. They say we're too young, but they don't know a thing about us. I'll wait forever, that's what we said. 16th of September, lying in my bed. I'll wait forever, it's never too late. Couple thousand miles is just a little space. I'll wait. Forget to start when you're far away. It's like we're not apart. I burn my money just to hear you say you love me again. People say we're fools, people say we're dumb, people say we're caught up in temporary love. We don't know what we're doing. They say we're too young, but they don't know a thing about us. 16th of September, lying in my bed, I'll wait forever. It's never too late. Couple thousand miles is just a little space. I'll wait. Couple thousand miles is just a little space. I'll wait. Couple thousand miles is just a little space. I'll wait forever. That's what we said. 16th of September, lying in my bed, I'll wait forever. It's never too late. Couple thousand miles is just a little space. I'll wait.
All right, beautiful people, let's get straight into the conversation. 49. Sex, marriage, and religion. So, I did a little background, and I did talk about how religion plays an integral role in our lives, in the lives of many Nigerians today, whether Christian, whether Muslim, whether you practice the traditional African religion. We are religious shy in this country. We are just shy religious. It could be, I mean, we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have those who practice the, African traditional religion. So the thing is, we carry religion for head. For Ninja. Yeah, Ninja and religion is, two peas in a pod. We are synonymous. with religion, basically. And so when it comes to marriage, of course, religion plays an integral role in many marriages today. Many people will turn to God when experiencing certain difficulties in their marriage, as should be, actually. It's not a bad thing for a couple to turn to God when they have, turbulent times. When they experience turbulence in marriage, it is normal for them to, of course, turn to God. A couple is expecting they are turning to God, while there are some who would ignore, going for medicals or anything like that. They will just decide that God's time is the best. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, we could just pray, they go. So there's that one. And then there are those who would also back up their prayers and fasting with, medical checkups, medical treatment. Of course, they would do the orthodox in addition to, prayers and fasting and bobo tibo and all the other things that they might be asked to do by their religious leaders. Still upon still, regardless upon still. And there's the argument on finding the balance. Where religious activities does not get in the way of marital activity and vice versa. The question, the first question, on the table tonight is this: should you deny your spouse sex while fasting or engaging in any religious activity? Yeah, that's the question for tonight. Think about it. I want you to do jiggy in your brain. Let's do jiggy in your head. Just calm down, process it, think about it, right? So let me tell you where I got the inspiration for tonight's conversation from. Sometimes I like to share my inspiration, my source or sources of inspiration with you guys. Yeah, I like to share with you guys sometimes. And I'm sharing. I shared the ones that are particular to like the everyday problems, everyday challenges that some couples face. We have TTC couples, couples that are expecting, couples who want children, but children are not forthcoming. So they are waiting, hoping on God, hoping on maybe some medical procedure. Some couples want to go in for IVF, or surrogacy or whatever method they are looking to conceive via. So we have all of that going on, right? And it's a situation because some couples would have a hard time. There are certain challenges that would come in marriage. It will shake the unshakable foundation. It will test to the limit the love the couple have for each other. It will stretch to the point where it can no longer be stretched. The love, the patience, tolerance, endurance, everything, all the qualities, it will test. There are things that a couple would go through, and if the marriage survives, if you go and check, it's possible that there's just a thin thread holding that marriage together. Sometimes, in some cases, some people will tell you that the thin thread is God. And then at other times, it might be love. It might be something else, all right? Best known to them, really. Now, a couple is expecting. This scenario I'm going to paint for you, I saw this in a movie. And I want us to answer the question as per real life, because, of course, while it did jolt, not like it's the main source of inspiration, because these are real life issues that people experience, that couples experience. I know some TTC couples myself, right? Yes, I know some couples who are struggling with conception, and it's a whole lot for them. The emotions, roller coaster and stuff, right? So I know this, but then this movie somehow did this thing where it reawakened, or it brought about this reawareness, you know. So a couple, I saw this whole situation in a movie. A couple, they are expecting, like they desire children, but children are not forthcoming. And then they turn to God. Of course, we are religious in this country, as I have said. Something is happening in the marriage, and the next alternative is God, because sometimes we're out of options. Sometimes we're not even out of options. There are people who would not wait for them to be out of. Some people might not even consider any other option that is not God. So some people will just be like, oh, this is my problem. I'm going to pray. I'm going to sleep in church. I'm going to sleep in the mosque. I'm going to do this. I'll pray 5 times a day. I will fast 100 days. I will do this. I will do that. You know, some people might not even go ahead to seek medical help. Oh. They will not seek medical help. It is straight from the problem. When they figure out what the problem is, they are moving straight to God. They're either going to the church, or they are going to the mosque, or they are going to the shrine. For those who practice the African traditional religion, I mean, they would decide that from there, instead of doing anything orthodox or unorthodox or anything else, they will just go straight to God, right? They're just going to do their prayers, do their fasting. They just want to go and worship and go and tell their creator that this is what they are dealing with, and their creator should come and help them, right? So we have that situation going on. So in this movie, I think it was played by Daniel Etim Efyong and Oni Alex. They're a couple expecting, they desire children, but children had not come. And then the wife turns to God, and in the course of the turning to God, she's to engage in fasting for a couple of days, prayers and fasting, the usual, prayers and fasting thing. And I'm sure lots of you do prayers and fasting. And so, in the period of doing the prayers and fasting, these prayers and fasting, she was to do it alone. Like, she did not carry her husband along. When I had this conversation earlier, 1 or 2 people told me that in situations like this, she's not the only person looking for a child. I mean, that's a marriage. There's a husband, right? So if you say you want to pray and fast, if your husband says he's not joining you, let it be that you told him and he says he cannot join you. That for you not to tell him, you keep him in the dark. And then 1 minute he comes back from work and there's no food in the house. You tell him that there's no food in the house because you are fasting. You didn't cook because you are fasting. Not because there's no food in the house. Not because he cannot eat. But because you are what? Fasting. And so you say you do not want temptation. That if you cook, you would want to eat. You'll be hungry to eat. So it's better that you do not cook. Let's be that there's no food in the house, so you would not break your fast. Then when it comes to the bedroom, your husband is trying to sleep with you, and you tell him you cannot have sex, you cannot mix iniquity with fasting, with your whole religious routine, because you are hoping on God to do something for you. At this point in time, when I saw this movie, when I saw that particular scene, my question was, Auntie, Madam, I thought that how we do it is that we give God something to bless, right? We give God something to bless. You are fasting, you are praying, you need a baby. And at the same time, you are saying you will not have sex with your husband because you are fasting and praying. So how will God now bless the prayers and fasting when you are not having the sex? Is God supposed to put Jesus Christ in your womb? Because I did not understand. I really did not understand. When you call in, you can give me your point of view. But I'm talking from where I'm standing, right? What is going on in my head? Now you might have to ask the question, and they've been having sex all this while, so what was the result? They've been having sex, they've been doing this, they've been doing that, and then the children did not come. So why is that? No problem. But when you have plans that you've told yourself that, okay, this is what you're embarking on for this period, from this time to this time, I thought they say faith without action is dead. I mean, faith without works is dead. Are you not supposed to back up your faith with some action? Plus, you are married, so sex is legal for you as a married person. So if, as a married person, you refer to sex as iniquity because you are fasting, I don't know, but you guys, what do you think about that situation? A married couple, they are looking for children. They want children. And so the wife says she's fasting. And because she's fasting and praying, she denies her husband sex. She says she will not do iniquity. She will not have sex with her husband because she's praying and fasting. And I'm asking how the children are supposed to come. Excuse me, ma, do you want to born Jesus? I don't think we need another Jesus. People, do we need another Jesus? I want to believe that, you know, God is I want to believe that God has no intentions of bringing his son to this world again, because and I go to show I'm shaggy for this world. Like then we had, look at the lot Jesus went through when he came. If he comes again, you people will show him shaggy because people are not nice at all. But then, I mean, looking at it, does it make sense to you? If it makes sense to you, yeah, if you can understand, imagine the scenario I painted for you. If you can understand it, and if you feel that the woman is right for not engaging in sex because she's fasting, right? You can tell me from your point of view. You are allowed to give me your opinions. Like I said, this is where I'm standing. Actually, I'm sitting right now, but okay. So you can explain it to me. You can give it to me from where you are sitting or from where you're lying down, because I know most of you are lying down right now. People like to lie down at this time of the night. Some of you too, you just finished doing one or two. No problem. But Sha, if you're on top of anywhere, calm down. We're having a conversation, so calm down and sit down. Just calm down, sit down. Take your place. Take your place at the table. When I open the phone lines, you tell me what you think. Tell me how you think this should be, okay? Tell me how you think it should be. Should you deny your spouse sex while fasting or engaging in any religious activity? Is this something that should be done? And to help you understand this, I just painted this scenario. This happened in a movie. This was a movie. But then it's also a real life situation, because many couples go through, childlessness. There are couples who have issues of childlessness in their marriages. And because we are an overly religious nation, we turn to God when we have issues. And it's normal. I'm not even saying that don't go to God, because I beg, who you won't go to? Human beings, we not to get sense like that too. Sometimes we would advise you and advise you wrongly. Ultimately, God is just the only solution. That's true. So I'm now asking, when you turn to God and you say you are doing religious activities, you are praying, you are fasting, you are going to the mountain and stuff, you are looking for a child. I'm being specific here. This is not about looking for financial gain or something. Those ones are different. But in this particular case, you are looking for a child. You want a child, you want children. And then you say you are fasting and you are praying, so God would help you God will bless you with children. And you refuse to have sex during the period of your fasting and prayer. I'm asking, is it the right thing to do? Refusing to have sex when a person is fasting. Maybe, and this could be one spouse denying the other spouse of sex because of fasting and prayer. It can happen with the woman. Maybe the woman is one championing the fasting and prayer. Maybe she's even fasting and praying alone. Her husband is not aware. In this particular movie I'm telling you about, the husband was not aware. I mean, all the man knew was he came back from work at night, wanted to touch his wife, and auntie says, mbam. She goes, no, she's fasting and praying because of their childlessness, and so God is supposed to bless them, and she's not interested in having sex because she's fasting and praying, so the man should not touch her. And then the boss is looking at her like, okay, He's like, okay, no problem. You can continue tomorrow, but let's break this one today now because, I mean, Odogu is standing. Odogu wants to collect. So let us just do one round. Let's just do small and then you can continue the fast. You can continue the fasting and prayers tomorrow. But men, sometimes, please, why do people like to do that whole thing? I don't know. Sometimes I will see certain movies and then the man is like, baby, small, just the cap. Just the cap of what? I don't know, but you people amaze me. Just the cap. I will not go inside though. I will stay. You want to stay at the door side. Where is there door there? They put door there. You guys, some men just, it's funny when we get to read or watch certain things. Say people say the things that you say just because you wanna bang bang. You wanna chill with the big boy. Okay. So given that situation, beautiful people, I'm now asking, is it so if the woman now says she doesn't want to do because she's fasting and praying rather, how is she supposed to conceive? Like, what is God now supposed to bless at that point in time? You have started fasting and prayers because you want to have a child or children, and then you say you don't want to have sex. Please, I'm sorry, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Apart from IVF and surrogacy, and this is not for, apart from some couples might actually be considering IVF or surrogacy, right? But a couple that does not have that on their plate, they are doing the whole, they hope that they will have their children, like the natural way. And you say you will not have sex. How else is the child supposed to come? The child or the children? The children you want God to bless you with via your prayers and fasting. How is he supposed to send them? That's my question right now, because how is God supposed to send the children over? How is he supposed to do the whole blessing thing? I don't know, but my question, madam, how do you intend to get pregnant, please? If you have no intentions of having sex when you're praying and fasting. Or you say, okay, you want to have sex after the prayers and fasting. After you are done, then you now begin to have sex. Well, in this scenario, it was not even an option. Auntie just wanted to fast and pray and fast and pray. Just fasting and prayers. And no sex. She was not interested in sex because according to her, she don't tire. The ones which she don't do since nothing come out. All these spreading legs, one leg in Jerusalem, the other one in Jericho, nothing come out. And then she decided that she just wanted to pray and fast so God could bless her. So let's talk, beautiful people. Should you deny your spouse sex while fasting or engaging in any religious activity? Are your religious activities supposed to come in the way of your conjugal rights? That's basically what I'm asking. When you get married, look at it, think about it. Are your religious activities supposed to come in the way of your conjugal rights? Remember that when you get married, right? You no longer own yourself. You are now one with somebody. I would say you now belong to somebody, but for some people, they don't like the whole using the term belong, because they feel like they are a possession, like an object that's now being possessed by somebody. So if you don't want to hear that you belong to somebody, no one. But I would use you are now one. You have become one with a person. So you no longer live for yourself alone. Everything you do in your life with your life going forward will affect your partner directly and indirectly. That's the thing that happens when you get married. It's like you are cleaving to somebody else who is not you, but then that person becomes a part of you. So, given this situation, should you deny your spouse conjugal rights when you are doing any religious activity? That's the first question. The second question is this: if your partner says they can't have sex while on a spiritual routine, what would you do? If you have a partner that tells you that they are fasting or they are doing one program that they are going for. What's that pilgrimage that the Muslims go for? Is it Mecca or something? Yes, I think it's Mecca. They are going on pilgrimage. I think Christians also go on pilgrimage, right? So if you have a partner tell you that due to one religious engagement, on spiritual routine, they can't have sex with you, what would be your reaction? Would you be patient? Would you insist on getting what you want? Would you tell them for here? Would you be like for here, especially you men? Because most times we understand that women are more into the religious, ish compared to the men. We have more women into doing the whole religious thing, right? So men, when your wife says, Oga, no show for you for the next 1 month, I'm on serious fasting, serious prayers, because you have coconut head, I'm trying to uncoconut your coconut head. Or there are forces against this marriage, I'm trying to break all the evil yokes, all your ex-girlfriends who are trying to make sure that I don't have children for you. I'm trying to destroy, I'm trying to break, they tell you, and then she tells you that, please, for this period, I cannot have sex with you. I cannot be mixed in. I can't mix pleasure with the things of, I can't mix the things of the Lord with the things of the world, and then refers to sex as the things of the world. I'm sorry, no vex, but when people get married, should they still refer to sex as the things of the world? Because you would legit hear some couples, I've legit heard some couples talk about, refer to sex as, like a mundane thing. And I'm wondering how you, in a legal institution, an institution ordained by God, instituted by God himself. In fact, marriage happens to be the only institution that God instituted by himself. And then you are inside that union where God has given you, where you have legally, you have the right to have sex with your partner anyhow you like. And religiously as well, you have the right. And then you are inside there, you are still referring to sex as a thing of the world, or a mundane thing, or iniquity, because you have a religious activity to follow, because you are looking for something from God. I mean, it's the irony. It's the irony for me. So let's talk. If your partner says they can't have sex while on a spiritual routine, what would you do? Would you be patient? Would you insist on getting what you want? Phone lines are open. 0817 00 951. 0810 9510 951. 0817 00 951 and 0810 9510 951. Let's talk. Let me know what it is for you. Let me know what your decision would be. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, honey baby.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, honey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Hello.
Ooh, try calling again, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Try calling again, please. Try calling again so I can get your thoughts. So let me know what your decision would be, right? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Morning.
What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel, calling from Today.
Emmanuel, where are you calling from?
Calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes, please. Go ahead. I can hear you. Oh, I'm sorry, Emmanuel. Try calling again. Hello.
Hello, honey baby.
Hi. Yes, I can hear you. Welcome.
Okay, this is Jason.
Yeah.
From Port Harcourt.
You're welcome.
And I'm a question. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, to your question.
Mm.
I think to me it's not right to.
Okay.
I think you're talking about marriage, not
Yeah, marriage.
relationship.
Marriage.
It's not right now. Marriage is legal now. It's not an illegal something. So it's not right. I think didn't such situations the lady need to sign up the relationship with sex, you know. If she's attending church and uses like she's attending church and uses like good news for you know, she is the only for you don't need to take the rub on the man's thinking and send the Holy Spirit into the thinking. It's very smoothly.
Oh, okay. She should anoint the penis with holy oil. All right.
They should try. This was that's why I'm telling myself that I can't before marry again. If the guy is this churchy type, both of us we sign agreement to that if she's on fast, you know, she's on mountain, you know, she'll be giving me stuff for front and back.
Mahalo. Hell. Okay. So you don't agree with it. Okay. Thank you.
No, I don't agree.
All right. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
The question is, what will I do if my spouse denies me sex because she's on a spiritual routine?
What's your
What
name
shall I
and
do?
where are you calling from?
My name is Solomon. I'm calling from GRA.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I will tell her that she did not read her Bible well. The Bible says that, although I can't remember the exact chapter and the verse, but it's there that after prayer and fasting, that the couple should come together so that they'll avoid temptation. It is there in the Bible. So a husband or a wife cannot deny either his or her spouse because of spiritual activity. It's wrong. It's not from the Bible. The Bible encourages coming together so that you avoid temptation, so that the devil will not strike in. So she should read her Bible. We thank God that what you're saying is a movie, but I know that there are some families who are facing this.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah, these issues, but then it's wrong. When you look at the Bible very well, it is very clear about it. So let us.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you talk louder, please?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
I am Miss Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, I don't think it is right for that because I have a friend that's a wife. So this kind of the guy relation. So sometimes the friend do tell me that the wife I had to deny him like. So
because of what? Yeah, your friend tells you that sometimes his wife denies him sex.
Yeah.
Because what's the reason?
Because each time if the wife does things like that, it is going to prophesy it. So for that, wife suggests that the husband should allow her to hold the time that the week can sometimes want to. So for me, I'm just thinking kind of personal thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what would you do now? You as a person, what would you do if your wife denies you sex because of spiritual routine?
If my wife, still I'm not yet married,
I know. Yeah, I'm asking hypothetically. Okay.
Okay. Okay, if I'm married, if my wife decides, I will enjoy for a little while. Not for too long, though. Just a little while.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So he says he will endure for a little while. Not for too long, but for a little while. Okay, so, all right, beautiful people, keep your calls coming in. Let's talk. Hello.
Makafele.
Hi, Music Emperor. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear. Huh? Marriage, religion, marriage, sex. What an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first of all, there are some important things that are carried to arise. Bible, faith, wisdom, strength, hope. You understand? These things, and you see these things there, none can take the place of the other. Faith can't take the place of wisdom. Strength, wisdom can't take the place of strength. Strength can't take the place of wisdom. All of that. It must balance. Now, let's talk about the fast now. First of all, fasting. Yes, fast is not all about not eating food or eating just one particular kind of food or just drinking. Fasting simply means denying yourself from certain pleasures for a certain period of time. You understand? For you to wait on the Lord. Fasting means waiting on the Lord, and waiting on the Lord means denying yourself and from certain pleasures you used to engage in to go to the Lord. You understand? Now, that's one. Now, let's take it down to this context first. Yes, let's denying yourself from certain practice, but not when you are fasting alone. You understand? In fact, even though you are fasting with your other app, and as long as if there is an agreement, then it is not denial. Understand? If it is an agreement, yes, and there has to be agreement because yes, it is necessary to keep off at least while the fasting is going on. It's necessary to keep off. Yes, we know, but it becomes a thing when the other is interested and you are withholding. You that is withholding, you are the one saying it. Not even you are the one even doing the greater thing. You that is withholding. Continue your fast, but if the other person says no, if he says I want, I need it, I need it, I need you, you don't need to withhold. Just give it. If he's saying I need it, I want it, I need you, don't withhold. Just give it. But continue your fast. If she chooses to follow you, no worry. She can still continue with her fast. The two of you can still fast. You understand? In as much as it's necessary for the two, for the two to keep off for some time, and it has to be a collective. It has to be agreed on. Otherwise, you don't. In fact, it's not even a thing. If two of you choose not to, if two of you choose to continue, like just while we are fasting, at least after praying and all of that, after praying, after breaking it, let's say before even breaking the actual fast, the food fast, before breaking that one first, after praying, after kabashing, doing all the kabashing and all of that, after breaking the wall, all those things we Christians do, right? Even as Christians, all of that, or Muslims and other or traditionalists have their own after wine, after doing all the and all of that. You can just
okay.
You can just you understand. Now to your other question.
If your partner says they can't have sex while on a spiritual routine, what would you do?
Me, I know that I know that they will not do that to me. No. I know that my own she will not do that to me.
Okay.
Yes, I know that she will. That's just let me end it there because I know that she will not do that to me. That's why I end it. And meanwhile, before I go, Masa, maybe I don't know. I think we should see how we can make like do something innovative here when we are talking about not this kind of topic, or maybe other kind of topics that will involve boyfriend and girlfriend, aside the original, which is marriage and all that. As we adding that boyfriend and girlfriend, let us take it legally here, whereby we add the friends with benefits too. You understand?
No, I don't understand.
You don't understand?
Mm-mm.
Like, as we are talking about, as boyfriend and girlfriend talk now,
Mhm.
it's so popular. It's so popular and all of that. And even trying to even be legal safe, I think we should add the friends with benefits on to make it that we let it measure up, let it equal with
Friends with benefits.
yeah, you understand? That
Okay.
you now understand, right?
Okay.
You understand, or yeah, it's not okay.
I understand. Okay.
And meanwhile, before I go, when is this topic there, when is kind of topic that come up with, I think be like say everybody will come, mostly the men will go start to the quote scriptures. They quote scriptures.
Well, people can just give their opinion. It depends.
Yes, I know, but people that like them quoting scriptures and all of
They
that.
can quote.
Just
They are allowed to quote. They are allowed
just
to
open.
quote. All right. Thank you.
All right. What I'm just saying is just feel free to quote if you want to quote.
Of course, they are allowed to quote. They will
Quote
quote.
for the
Thank you.
quote for the right reasons. Don't quote to.
They will quote, but they will say what they want to say. Let them share their thoughts. Thank you, Music Emperor. Thank you. All right. Let's talk, beautiful people. Keep your calls coming. You can quote what you want to quote, or you can just quote, share your thoughts. You are very free to do that. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Michael. I want to know the topic you are discussing about. I just look up.
Okay. Sex, marriage, and religion. Sex, marriage, and religion. Can you hear me? Okay, you can call back again, Michael. But we're talking sex, marriage, and religion. And I asked 2 questions. If a person is going through, a spiritual routine, fasting, prayers, anything like that, should you deny your spouse sex? And then if your partner denies you sex when they are doing any spiritual routine, what would you do? Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location.
My name is Remy calling from GRA.
You're welcome.
The topic I want if my spouse denies me, I want my really.
Yes.
I can't wait.
If your spouse denies you sex,
I can't.
You can't do what? You can't be in the marriage? Is that what you're saying?
No, because she's going to do something.
Can you talk louder, please?
Like she's going to push me to something.
She will push you into the arms of another woman.
Yes, that is what I mean.
Oh, so you will not be patient.
Like if I am patient, if I have patience for her. Just leave her alone.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
All right. I got your point. Thank you.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I heard you. Thank you. I heard you. Hello.
Hello, Amaka.
Hi, good evening. Sorry, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm cool. I'm cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're staying also.
I know.
Yeah. And, Amaka, in as much as fasting is relevant,
and important in, in a relationship like a Christian relationship, like marriage or whatever. Before you get into, fasting, the Bible says that your spouse should be in the know. Yes, your spouse must be in the know, or both of you are one. And while they are in the know, the person is in the know. The duration shouldn't be long. The duration of the fasting shouldn't be that long, so as not to, open or space for temptation to, to come in. So in that case, if my spouse, I will deny me of sex because of fasting, if I'm in no, why would I be annoyed? It shouldn't be annoyed. I shouldn't be annoyed because already she has told me that look, she's going to, and it is not good for using mundane pleasure, with spiritual routine. It doesn't go, and it is like it's antagonizing, spiritually. So if that happens, I have to endure, because I know that it is not deliberate denial. Yes, because it is a mutual understanding between she and myself. We went into agreement. There was a kind of pact. So in that case, it doesn't make sense for me to get annoyed or go on the track to look for other women.
Because you were aware.
Yes.
And you're probably in it with her, right? But what if you're not aware? And I said because you were aware, right? When if she tells you before she starts, you will not be angry, right?
Yeah.
Now, what if she doesn't tell you? What if it just happens that at night when you're about to touch her, she just tells you that she's praying and fasting? So, no way.
Yeah, if it happens that way, that is where she's getting everything wrong. It doesn't happen that way, and God does not accept that kind of a thing. He does not accept because you didn't follow the right procedure. She didn't follow the right procedure by telling you. But if you want to, be very free from, any form of chastisement from maybe spiritual chastisement, you just have to allow her to go. And after that, you call her and tell her that you don't like this. This is, she should have told you that, look, she wants to go into this. Next time she should tell you you should be in the know. So, yes, but yes.
Oh, all right. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, you can call back to finish up. All right, beautiful people, keep your calls coming in. Meanwhile, messages should go to 0701 9339 962. Hello. Hello, good morning. Yes, I can hear you. You're welcome, Emmanuel. Yes, but you need to talk louder. You'll be patient. Okay. Will your patience have an expiry date? Okay. You won't join her in fasting and praying?
For example, but some of us are praying for the child and forgot to
All right. Okay. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Okay. 0701-9339-962. Regular text messages and WhatsApp messages as well. And then for calls, we're down to 0810-9510-951. 0810-9510-951. 0817-0000-951. 0817-0000-951. Okay, let's talk. Tell me what it is for you, what it's going to be. First off, should you deny your spouse sex while fasting or engaging in any religious activity? Is this something you should do? So because you are fasting, yeah, you tell your spouse that you're not going to do anything worldly or worldly, okay, for the period of your fasting. If your partner says they can't have sex while on a spiritual routine, what would you do? Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I enjoy this program.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel Etienne. I'm from Akwa Ibom State.
You're welcome.
You see, if that kind of situation happened and your partner told you that he was in fasting, the fasting that your partner is going on is not something that not only she or he will benefit from it. It's something for the family. And you will endure. You will endure. If that's something that you have chance, you join him for the prayer. And you see what God can do. Yeah. Because
so you will endure?
Wife. Yes, it's your wife. It's your wife. It's not something you say is your girlfriend. It's your wife. You will endure. It's not something that you never do it before. It's your property. Yeah, that is what I see for the issue.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So he says he will endure. Will you? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Marco?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Mr. Michael.
You're welcome.
For the station. To us. Please, Michael, if my wife says, or Naomi says, as a spiritual exercise, I can't take it. I cannot take it.
If your wife says she's fasting and praying, and that's why she cannot have sex with you, you can't take it.
I cannot take it.
So what will you do?
He cannot deny me my pleasure while she's praying.
Yeah, but she's praying so that people will have children now.
See?
She's praying for children.
It doesn't mean he can pray for children. Also, it can be I can have my own pleasure. She has told me, we are having sex. Oh, and maybe that we have children. He cannot deny me my own pleasure. I say you are praying to God. It's not, it's injustice. Yes.
It's injustice, huh?
Because if you keep doing that, I will find somewhere else. Because he cannot me my pleasure. And you're praying to God. No, I can't. It's really injustice. I will be turning out of pleasure, something like that. Maybe you should pray in also. Maybe in the night, you give me my own pleasure. I will.
All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Michael. He says in the night you give him his own pleasure. Okay, let me hear from you. What do you think? What would you do if your partner says they can't have sex while on a spiritual routine? What would you do? Hello.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. I'm Moses on the line.
Good morning, Mo. Welcome.
Thank you. You see, the major problem with worship, worship someone or worship something, is that people worship the one they worship the way the one who is being worshipped will not even worship himself. Yeah, that is the problem. You see, people make excuse that Jesus died and changed everything. I mean, they are free to do whatsoever. The problem with religion is that people don't understand even the religion they practice. Jesus said that he has not come to alter the law. There is an existing arrangement the way things are supposed to be done. Nothing ever will change the things that have been written. Nothing ever will change it. What Jesus came to do is to teach us. He came from heaven to earth to show us how to do things. He did not come to alter the things. Now, what am I trying to say? You see, even God himself understands our ways, our lives as human beings. Now, why does a partner have to fast if they do not agree? Because the Bible said that can two work together except they agree. What is even fasting, if I may ask? No, to whom are you fasting? That is what, like the law that Jesus said that he did not come to change the law. The law is not meant for, it's not meant to persecute man, it's meant to guide man. What am I trying to say in essence is that, yes, there are instances, I'm not a religious person, but I'm a godly person. We don't rule out the place of, the spiritual side of life. I'm not saying that fasting is bad, but then, like the Bible said, except can two work together except they agree. Yes, there is a need to fast, but why don't you talk it over? Okay, some churches are currently fasting. If you have to fast, you and your partner need to decide. Let's say we have they do this sex thing first week, second week. When can you endure? Can you do 2 times? You do fire dance for 1 week and then go on a break. You can't. You don't have. Nobody has the right to. Shut down in the name of fasting. You'll be committing a sin. Whatever sin your partner commits will be upon you. Both of you would have committed the sin. Let me answer. The other time when you asked the question, I said that I don't know if it's on this. I said that I would not endure. But then, both in what I'm writing and as a person, I always say there are 3 persons in a marriage. You, the man, the woman, and the God factor. Now, as a person, the human side of me, like other people have mentioned, I may not be able to bear it. But then there is another important factor. In every relationship, there is what is called boundary. As much as I might not be able to bear it as a human being, I want to go outside. I'll be overstretching my boundary between me and the third person, which is the God that I respect. In life, it's either you respect or fear God or you do not fear God at all. And if you are the type that believe that, God should go wherever he belongs or whatsoever, then you should be, with all due respect anyway, I'm not mocking, but you should be ready for the thing that is happening in Los Angeles now. If you rule God out of your life, then you will realize that the world is not an easy place. So for me, I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense somehow. I'm the type that, I respect God. Yes. But the point I'm trying to make here is that nobody, even the Bible says that if you want to give your offering, if you want to, you're going to the altar to give an offering, and realize that you have something with somebody, that you have a quarrel, the greatest rule in this world, the Bible gave us, blah 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 rules are there. But the number one and the most important rule in the spiritual that binds the good and the bad, it says that you owe no man nothing. So if you, if you feel like before you embark on your fasting as a person, if you're the type that really, you know what you're practicing, what you're, worshiping. If you have regard for this third person, this God factor, and you should have it at the back of your mind that you do not have the right to overstretch your boundary between you and the other person because of what you want. So for me, the human side of me, I may not be able to take it, but then being somebody that I have the consciousness of God, I might be able to take it to an extent. But before you get to that extent where I cannot bear, even the third person, the God factor, would have understood. God is not stupid. He would have understood that, this person has tried. That is where it has gone beyond human, taking. That is where the God needs to come in. It's not everything that we call God into. So for me, I will bear it to an extent. But when it gets to the other side, maybe it might not be good for radio. So I don't know if somebody got what I just said earlier on. People do this. Women abandon their duties. And anyway, I'm not trying to make it like it's only the women. Religious people, men and women, they do this. You deny your partner. There is a need in the house. Your partner needs you. You are out for judge. A lot of people will miss heaven because they do not understand what they're practicing. Let me hang on. I might call you back.
All right. Thank you, Mo. Okay, well, thank you so much. I see your messages. Please keep them coming. I'm about to take messages shortly. So 0701-9339-962. Let's have your messages. Regular text messages can come in. WhatsApp messages can come in as well. And then for calls, 0810-951-0951, 0817-00000951. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Name and location.
Josiah. I'm from Rumiko.
Did you say Josiah?
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Josiah. Like you just wanted to tell me your name. Okay. Josiah just wanted to tell me his name. Or maybe it's just the network. Oh, I'm sorry. Try calling again. Let's hope that your network will let us talk, okay? So you tell me what it is for you, what you would do given the situation. And then you think it is proper for a spouse to deny his or her spouse sex while fasting or engaging in any religious activity. Is it the right thing to do? Well, if your partner does it to you, what would you do? Hello. Good morning. Julius, you're welcome.
Yes, I want to say for all these relationships, I wanted to say, okay, it's not easy for someone to say, well, praying and you don't want to have sex with your partner during this sex time. Everything has a time, right? Hello?
Yes, please. Everything has a time. Is that what you said? Oh, sorry. Try calling again. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Paradise by name.
Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, I like your name.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. The topic you raised is very important topic. And that topic does destroy many homes. Just for lack of knowledge. Because some of us who don't know that once two come together, they become one, according to the Bible. So if at all, you man or the woman, they have spiritual aspect of life that you want to follow, so what you do is you discuss it with your spouse. If I thought that two of you could not agree, there's no need of you going ahead of doing the fasting, because it will not work. Because it's one body. Two of you now are now one body. It's no longer two. So if two of you could not agree for that fasting, if you like fast for 1 year, it will not work. So coming to ask if maybe my partner denied me sex because of his spiritual or what, I may not be angry. I can understand, but we have to agree. I will tell you that we have to agree. So yes, and as a human being, sometimes the fasting may be because of two of you, or maybe what, or just like as you mentioned that they are looking for a child. So, but even as that, faith without work is a dead faith. So when you are fasting, you still have to work. What you're fasting for you to accomplish what you want. So in that case, two must agree. Two of you must agree. Even if your partner refuses, you can leave the fasting. Because when you go to Bible verse, that is 1 Corinthians 7, the Bible says that you as a woman, once you're married, you no longer own yourself. Your partner owns you. You own your partner. So whatever you are doing, two of you supposed to agree. So, and sex in a marriage is not a sin. So you can be fasting and you can still have sex. God will still answer you. So far as two of you are legally married, you don't have problem for that. But if two of you agree, say, okay, this is what is going on. Okay, can we hold on, hope on to God, and do this happen? Two of you can even do it, and it will work more better. So you don't have right to deny your spouse and sex because you are fasting, except to be able to convince him, and two of you agree. If he says no, you have to give man or something, man. And that's what you do.
All right.
So I like the topic, and I believe many women they are listening to you. Let them not be doing that mistake. Even if you stand up to go to church, your husband say no, you can go back. So that is how it is. Yes, you can ask, but I like you have wisdom. You can still make an inquiry. You understand me? Your husband have that right to say, so no, don't go to church.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. You have that right to say, don't fast. And if he told you not to fast, you do not fast until two of you agree. That is the only way that fasting can work. Because two of you are now one body. You understand me? So that is how it works. So thank you. God bless you. You are trying.
Thank you so much.
I believe this topic now will address many homes. You understand me? Because this issue has scattered many homes. Because I'm fasting. Papa says we are fasting. How can I say? Who told you? Even the Papa says can still enjoy himself if he needs. So that's how it is.
All right,
so
thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Time to go to messages at this point. All right, let me take this call first before I get started with the messages. Hello.
Hello, Amaka. Good morning.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Favor from Bolu.
You're welcome.
Did you eat bread yesterday?
Did I do what?
Did you eat bread yesterday?
Yes, I did. I did.
I'm your bread fans now.
Okay, we are together. You're welcome. I'm alright.
Okay, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
If I'm told, are you with me?
Of course.
If I'm told, I'll just maintain and back her up.
We'll back out.
I say if I'm told, I will relax and back her up with the fasting.
Oh, you back her up with the fasting?
Yes.
Okay, you will not complain. That's if she tells you before she starts.
Yes, because it's for our good.
Okay.
It's for our own good. That is all. That is all I want to say.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good morning and good night.
Good morning. Okay, so messages. Let's go. I'll go to this one. This one is from Sadiq Kende Abdul Rahim. He says, religion that is against human nature is not balanced religion. In my religion of Islam, each couple must agree before going for religion duties, so there won't be a fight in the home. Ramadan is a general religious obligation, and even at that, we still have time for our wives. Okay. Chile Edwin says religion has done more harm than good, especially these foreign religions imported from Arabia and Rome, unlike our African traditional religion. Ha. Wahala deo. Okay. Okay, this other one says, lovely greetings, Amaka. The answer to your first question varies significantly across different cultures and religions, so opinions would differ as well. Marriage is a legal union, while sex is the conjugal right of those engaged in it. So, on no account should a person deny their partner intercourse, regardless of tribe or belief, as that's a breach. That's why it's necessary for intending spouses to sort these things out before marriage. To the second question, I doubt my being in that situation, but if that happens, I'll understand and be patient if she told me beforehand, while enlightening her mind, should she listen. I'm Michael from Iwafe. Thank you for texting, Michael. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to read and hear from you, beautiful people. Okay, so we are talking religion, we're talking sex, we're talking marriage. These things happen. These are some of the issues that we are faced with, right? We're faced with some of these issues, and you know that these are things that people are dealing with. They are real life situations, really. Okay, hello. Hello. All right.
Which is on the line. I have a reason why I take time to talk on, sex, because I pay attention to spirituality also. Yes. Now, like the callers before, after me, they mentioned something, and I want to emphasize. One of the worst things that will happen to anybody is to choose a partner that you differ with in anything, whether worship or otherwise. Somebody mentioned, yes, as your partner is fasting, you both are supposed to be doing that together. I think it was a Kembillion. Yeah, I know his voice. He mentioned something. If your partner does not agree, the prayer will not be answered. Yes. Where I differ slightly with Kembillion is where he said that you can still fast and engage in your physical things. Yes, but let me explain something. You see, angels, there are different kinds of angels. The ones that have 2 wings, the ones that have 4 wings, and the ones that have 6 wings. There are some that cover their faces and everywhere. And that is how their level of ranking. There are some that go to the presence of God. There are some angels that have never seen the presence of God. Now, what am I trying to say? Daniel had a challenge. You know, it took a special kind of angel. The same thing with our problems. You know, that is one of the reasons why, you know, when doing certain fastings, you know, you should avoid certain kind of things, because a kind of angel that might want to come close to you might be the one that is extremely holy, and they don't want to partake in our mistakes. It might not be so bad, but then if you do us good when you're doing such kind of things, you go the extreme of, you know, denying yourself, you know, that physical things. God does not completely condemn in our physical things like sex. He understands it, but then there are levels. So that's why I called back to say thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm not even going to go ahead and follow through on the whole types of angels thing that Moses just highlighted. I'm just going to move away from it. I'm going to move away from it because, I mean, that's deeper than, it's deeper than this conversation. So we'll leave it there. Anyway, beautiful people, thank you so much for calling. Thank you for texting. That's our show. Look, I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. I'm cramping really badly, so I want to come and be going. Okay, I'm cramping really badly. So, Lovey Dovey continues tonight. Last week, we were unable to have the Thursday edition of Lovey Dovey due to one reason or the other. So, let's hope that tonight we'll have it. So we can do, you know, our music request show, and you guys can just be with me. We'll have fun. You tell me the songs you want me to play for you, and you know, I go run out. Okay, we'll have the last episode of WWE for the week later tonight. This is Today 95.1 FM, oh, beautiful people. In summary, I'm just gonna say, do what works for you. Okay. Many people did say that, many of my callers tonight did say that if they are informed by their partners, I mean, ordinarily, this is something that you should do with your partner. I mean, the both of you are looking for the children. It's not like the child is going to belong to one person alone. So if it's something that, I mean, the family should embark on, the family should do it together. You inform your spouse, and this is it. Now, except you inform your spouse, and then your spouse says, oh, I'm not interested, you can go ahead and do it alone, right? So let's be guided. Religion should not put couples apart. You are in a marriage and you believe in God. You believe that God should be the core of your marriage. It should not put asunder. I mean, it would be ridiculous that you fight over the same thing that is supposed to bring you two together, right? So let's just be guided. Do what works for you and yours. Communication is important. It's necessary. And while at it, make sure the communication is effective. Because sometimes some of you can just yap and yap and yap. You don't listen. You are not, you know, speaking coherently, nothing. So let's be fair. Let's be nice. Life is already too difficult. You don't need your home to be a place of more problem. Your home should not be a battlefront. If anything, it should be where you come for succor, where you come for rest. Your home should be your safe haven, away from all the crazy that the world has to offer. So make sure that, as far as it depends on you, your home is peaceful. Trust me, you will enjoy it better that way. This has been blissful. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you for texting. I enjoyed talking with you. I enjoyed reading from you. But then again, I always do. My name is Amaka. I am the Amaka of Port Harcourt. So do also follow me on everything social media. On Facebook, it's Amaka Felix. On X and on Instagram, it is D Amaka Felix. D as in THE, like THE. Yes, like Namibi the Amaka Felix, you get. Guys, there is no other Amaka Felix, of course. Well, there are them day, but then the Amaka of radio, you know, the Amaka of Port Harcourt. So, all right, beautiful people, enjoy the rest of your night. Me, I'm signing out with a song by Brimo. Enjoy every single piece. Good night.
Shemini Kama fedu fana Eruko wonu obemi Bieni logi jana Ọmọ ìyá àgbà àwọn àgbà mẹ́ni mo jẹ́ ọmọdé tó mọ ọwọ́ ẹ̀ mo ń bá àgbà jẹun bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí mi nígboro bẹ́ẹ̀ bá mọ̀ kí mi bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ká sí mi ẹ pè mí láàbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà àbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà àbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà o bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí mi nígboro bẹ́ẹ̀ bá máa jí mi bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ká sí mi ẹ pè mí láàbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà. ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa ní aláwọ̀ ara mọ́ra wa ìgbàkúgbà wa ti kọjá la ibi ò bá ra rẹ̀ jọ ṣe dáadáa níbẹ̀ ọmọdé tó mọ ọwọ́ ẹ̀ ó má bá gbà jẹun. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí mi nígboro, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá mọ̀ kí mi, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ká sí mi. Ẹ pè mí láàbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà. Àbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà, àbẹ̀ẹ́dù fọ́nà o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí mi nígboro, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá mọ̀ kí mi, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà. Vedu fana o beba ri mi ni gboro beba ma ki mi beno gazi mi pe mi la vedu fana.
Exclusive from justniger.com.
Àwọn àdánfò lókè wọ́n fọ́nká sójú ọ̀run wọn ò máa mọ bí wọ́n lọ Elédùà ló ń ṣe ìkẹ́ wọn kó kẹ́yìn sílẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ o ohun wá ó wà níwájú rẹ o Adédọ̀tun oyin dàmọ́lá mi. Ìgbà wọn kojú ọ̀run wọn ò máa mọ ohun wọn jẹ Elédùà ló ń ṣọ́ wọn ló ń bọ́ wọn kó pa wọn sí ẹ ọ̀rẹ́ ó wà lọ Sókótó ó wà lápò Sókótó.
justniger.com.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good.